Am I the asshole for not letting my mother identify as a grandmother to my child on social media? There's a lot of background to this, but the short version is that I, then 17, now 27 female, got pregnant as a teenager, stayed with the baby daddy, had another kid with him, then he dumped me. Mum, then 39, now 49, said some really horrible things, and refused to act as a grandma to my 2 kids, ages 7 female and 9 male. I'm now married to someone else and we had a baby back in January. Now I've had a child in wedlock, Mum wants to be a grandma. Can't find a place to slip this in organically, but my husband also had a child from before the marriage, a 4-year-old, who Mum treats the same as my older kids. I didn't even tell her when I had my newborn, and she found out along with everyone else, when I announced the birth on social media a couple weeks ago. The actual birth occurred a few months ago, we held off on announcing until last month. When we announced on Facebook, this was also when Mum learned that the baby had been born. I already told Dad and stepmum personally. This caused a fight between us and I blocked her for a bit. I've unblocked her a few days ago, gone on her profile, and literally the top 10 posts are just about being a grandma. I then made a few passive-aggressive comments on her posts about how she's been a grandma for almost a decade now and she's never met my newborn. A few hours later I saw my comments had been deleted, so I posted on my page that I was incredibly grateful to my baby's grandparents, my dad, my stepmom, and my husband's parents for all the love and support they had shown to me, my husband, my kids, and this baby, and how grateful I was for family. A few people were like, "Op, you forgot your mum," and I just responded that everyone who should be mentioned is mentioned already. Mum has called me and yelled, cried over the phone, saying I'm a horrible daughter and making her feel and look like a shit mother, grandmother, and I need to take the post down. I refused. This has caused a schism with several people thinking I shouldn't have aired our dirty laundry in public and that Mum's posts do nothing to affect me, while my post was designed to hurt Mum, so I should take my post down, while the other camp think that she deserved it and I merely corrected public record. Info: she only wants to be grandma to the baby. The older kids, 7 female, 9 male, and step 4 female, are not allowed to call her grandma because it makes her feel old. Am I the asshole? Nope, not the asshole. Fuck that shit. You don't want a relationship with all my kids, step or bio, you don't get a relationship with any of them. I mean, I don't agree with putting everything on Facebook, because I do think generally that people don't need to know your family's ins and outs, but she did start it. It would, however, be obvious she's a shit grandparent when she never sees the baby anyway, but I get that you don't want people to be confused about it from the outside. Not the asshole, and if she's not willing to have a relationship with all your kids, don't let her near any of them. She sounds like a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Good luck. You have like 4 kids to care for now. Block your mom on everything and don't Facebook like a teenager. Not the asshole. Grandparents who think they can selectively choose when to be grandparents don't deserve the title. Keep her blocked, and don't post pics of Lo online, cause she will find a way to steal them and put them on her social media. Maybe block her number too, and stop engaging with her online, passive-aggressively or otherwise. You didn't need to post the comment where you knew someone would say, "What about your mom?" and you'd go in and explain. I mean, I get it. Mentally, I'm 15 years old and I love that shit. You knew it would get to her and it worked. But I try to play adult most of the time. You could have left her blocked and refused to see her, and at some point people would just ask her, "You talk about being a grandma. Where are the pictures of you and the kids?" And she wouldn't provide. Oh, and make sure she can't get the pics from your Facebook page and repost them to pretend she has a relationship with the kids. Keep your drama off of social media. Your mom sucks for doing what she did, but your response sucks too. Just cut contact with her and move on with your life. Not the asshole. Being family doesn't give her the right to decide when to act like family. I'd make it very clear to her. She can claim being grandma to all your kids, or she needs to just let you live how you want. These are your kids, so it's your choice, no one else's. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for your choices either. Not the asshole. Yeah, it was a bit middle school to make that post, but I totally get that you saw red after reading how she's loving, being a grandmother to a child she has never met after spending the last decade ignoring your oldest children completely. That would have sent me over the edge, too. Your mother is a selfish jerk. Of course her posts affected you. She was lying about you and your family, pretending to a relationship that does not exist in order to get likes on social media. Someone like that doesn't get to call themselves grandma without being publicly challenged. Your mom is an R, but perpetuating the drama on social media is super cringe. If you want nothing to do with the drama, don't create any. Everyone sucks here, your mom for the obvious reasons and you for posting it all over Facebook. Looks like you could both use some growing up. Not the asshole. She treated you and her other grandchildren like shit. Why should she expect you to pretend that never happened? So it's okay for her to lie about being the loving grandmother on Facebook, but it's not okay for you to set the record straight. What did she expect? That you'd allow her to favor your newborn and hurt your other kids' feelings? She's selfish and insensitive, so she doesn't get to play the victim now. Not the asshole. Esh. Her for deciding only no bastard babies count and you for engaging. If she doesn't matter, then she should be a non-entity. Block her and ignore her existence. What positive can she add to your life? Esh. Honestly, if your mom sucks this bad, she deserves to be on the no-contact list. But dragging your other family into a post that everyone comments on, but what about your mom, knowing damn well she's not involved anyway, is petty. Block your mom and her flying monkeys on everything and raise your kids the way you see fit. But don't stoop to her social media level. Not the asshole. Some people tend to want to avoid confrontation, so they will call you the asshole probably. But I believe it is okay to assert yourself. You didn't lie about your mom being a horrible grandma, and it's perfectly fine to clarify it for people who didn't understand the situation. Her hurt feelings are her own selfish doings. Not the asshole. She treated all of your children differently outside of the one child you had while you were married and was otherwise oblivious to that kid until you made it public. While your post on social media may have been in poor taste, at the same token, I can't imagine a decade without her support or involvement was easy, and she has the right to claim a title she never earned in the first place through active involvement. Personally, I would just go NC with her and politely correct any family or friends that inquire as to what's going on. I, to a degree, had to do this myself with my bio mom after several incidents that lead to going NC with her. So, not the asshole. A soft esh. For over a decade, I have witnessed multiple people air their family's dirty laundry on Facebook for everyone to witness. Most of what I have seen is very cringe and awkward for those not involved in their family's disputes. Not the asshole. Normally, I disagree with posting Facebook drama, but in this case 2 children are being hurt, so it is fine to go nuclear. If she is a shitty parent and grandparent as she clearly is, she should be shown like one too. Definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole. The good thing about being an adult is you get to choose who your family is. If grandma doesn't want to be that for all the children, you don't need that sort of toxicity around them. Remember, your mother has shown you who she is. Believe her. Esh. I'm not totally against passive-aggressive behavior, as they definitely have a place in many rifts, but this is not one of those times it should be used, especially not on social media. Facebook is not the place to start an awkward family battle. While commenting on her post about being a grandparent for a decade already was fine, cause while she sucks, you shouldn't have made your post. You should have instead spoken to her directly, explaining how horrid her behavior toward your family have been, and explain that luckily your kids did have a set of grandparents that loved them. She doesn't get to pick and choose which of your kids she cares about. But this should have been done directly to her, not over a public post. Not the asshole. You don't need that kind of SHT in your life, or your kids' lives. Block her, NC, and enjoy your life with all your kids. Also congrats on the baby X. Everyone sucks here. I get that seeing those things your mom posted made you angry, and rightfully so. But you took the time and went out of your way to write up a post specifically to get back at her, which seems super childish and honestly is just inviting drama into your life. It's not like the people in your life don't already know how she is. I think it would be best for you and your kids to remove this person from their life unless she is willing to acknowledge that she has mistreated you and your children and is willing to change going forward. But seeking out the drama in a public forum just seems stupid to me, and honestly, you deserve any fallout you have to deal with. Is the question about whether you're an asshole for posting passive-aggressive comments on Facebook to stir the pot and fight drama with drama clapbacks? If so, esh. If you're asking if you're an asshole by cutting off contact with your mom, then NTA, but I believe you're asking about stewing it up online, in which case it would have been less asshole to ignore or just politely point the facts. Not the asshole. Time to go NC. I'm gonna go with not the asshole. I can understand the frustration and anger because your mom does not acknowledge your other children as her grandchildren. That is not only hurtful to you and your husband but also to your other kids. However, the Facebook post was really harsh and maybe you should have talked about the situation with her before. Might not be a popular opinion, but I think most all comments I agree with. Your mom is a real piece of work. She doesn't deserve a relationship with you and she is definitely tar. However, you could have just ignored her. You didn't need to make a post simply for the reason to exclude her. It sounds like you were trying to provoke her and you succeeded. Not the asshole. Letting her treat your kids so unfairly would be unbelievably damaging to your older kids. Not the asshole, but don't get sucked into keeping on correcting her on FB. You can't control who she lies to, and you shouldn't try anymore, but I understand why you reacted the way you did. NTA. Wow. Just wow. I will get downvoted for this, but your mom much more so than you for picking and choosing whose life she wants to be a part of and when and playing doting grandmother when she's essentially disowned you and the rest of your family. However, you should be a bigger person. Don't air your grievances on social media. Don't fight wars on social media. You can't win. Try exercising a little more tact and maturity. NTA. You shouldn't really air dirty laundry on Facebook, but I would do the same. I can't stand seeing people lie like that, and when it involves my kids it's even worse. That's really crappy. When you really needed the support as a young parent you didn't get it. Now she wants to swoop in and play super granny. Nope, I don't think so. It's amazing how family are able to just whitewash the past, isn't it? But some of us have memories that actually work. Not the asshole. Keep this evil woman out of your lives. It will be incredibly damaging for your other kids to see the difference in treatment between them and the baby. You're not making her look like a shit mum and grandma. She is a shit mum and grandma. She did that all on her own. Info. Does she want a relationship with all three of your kids now or just the baby? Not the asshole. I don't understand why people think her posts don't affect you, but your posts do affect you. Regardless, she's not a grandma, so you're in the clear as far as I'm concerned. You can't let someone not post on Facebook. That's not how Facebook works. What are you going to do? Get a court order? Ignore her. She's been a shitty grandma. So she can feel like one. She's not a grandma, you're a mama who is protecting her older children from BS. NTA. This is the reason I deleted my Facebook account years ago. It turned into everyone posting all their family crap for the world to see and damaging the children involved. When you argue with idiots, you just end up looking an idiot. Cut the toxic people out of your life. Often it's family because they feel entitled. Not the asshole. However, your mum is a major R. Can't even get into how toxic she sounds, and honestly, she needs therapy. She needs to understand the value of relationships, and how to maintain and build healthy relationships. If there is someone who's close to her, talk to them and tell her to get some help, otherwise she's going down a very self-destructive path. Her behavior is simply not acceptable. You are well in your rights to post whatever you want to post, and if it helps you feel better or cope better with the situation, then let it be. If it's causing you stress though, then remove it. Depends on how you feel. Don't let anyone manipulate you into anything you don't want to do. Mum has called me and yelled, cried over the phone, saying I'm a horrible daughter and making her feel and look like a shit mother, grandmother, and I need to take the post down. She is a shit mother, grandmother. She only wants to be a grandparent to one of your children. Fuck that. It would be bad parenting if you allowed her to have her way and the rest of the kids got ignored. Not the asshole. Damn, that is so messed up on her part. You also might want to check out Just No. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You don't blame the mirror when you don't like what you see. Not the asshole. And to all the ones that side with her saying it doesn't affect you, point out that it does affect your kids because she is still playing favorites with the kids. She has learned nothing, and until she apologizes and changes her ways, I would not let her near any of your kids nor pretend to be a good grandma. Not the asshole. Makes me wonder if she was posting it to try and fit in, brag to some other grandmas. Of course you are an asshole, lol. You put it on Facebook just to make sure everyone knew, knowing it would hurt her. Good. Fuck her. Sometimes you have to be an asshole because people deserve it. Not the asshole. She's been awful, and the only reason she says she's a grandmother is because this baby was born under proper circumstances. The posts were childish, sure, but in my opinion she kinda had it coming. If she gets to pick and choose who she is a grandma to, that same logic applies to you as the mother, therefore you get to choose if she gets to be a grandma or not. Not the asshole. Not the asshole.